is Kristen Duperspike. I am Inbound Marketing Manager here at Final Say, and today we'll be talking with David Willows. Hi, welcome. Hi, David.
Hey,
are you able to hear
nice to be with you today. Yeah, I
Yes,
can hear
thank
you.
you.
I
I
hope
know
my
it's getting
connection
into the
it's a
evening.
bit iffy today.
Okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
I know so many of us are working
We've got a
remotely.
glorious
So.
spring evening here.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you're with us. I know I gave a quick little intro. We have a few people coming in now. So those of you who don't know, David Willows is here with us from International School of Brussels, and we'll just be talking about virtual experiences and things you can be thinking about in light of COVID-19 and any closures you're having and ways to really engage with your community. So David, I'll just kind of let you take the floor if you want to just chat a little bit about what International School of Brussels has been doing, what you kind of see as what will be moving forward for the future, and anything that you've seen that's been really working for you.
Yeah, thanks. And hi to everyone from a unusually sunny Brussels evening in the springtime. And so we're on our spring break, and we're just at a point where we finished 4 weeks of distance learning at the school, and and I think one of the things I would say is that more than anything, it's not just the students who have been learning, that we've really been learning an awful lot ourselves as a team. And in some ways, I would say that we're still learning as we go, and that's, as I talk to colleagues all over the world at the moment, one of the things I think that is still very clear to me is that we're all learning. We're navigating our way through this particular event in our lives, and I've been just amazed by the amount of collaboration and creativity that I've seen between colleagues in every corner of the world, and somehow it feels as though it's kind of brought us closer together, even if we feel somehow locked in our homes. And maybe I thought today one of the things that I would do is just share some of the principles that we've brought to the work we've done, that may help maybe frame some of the where and they may resonate with some of you who are going through the same kinds of things. So I mean, I think one of the things we've always said is that the work we do is to tell the story of our school and to help people find their place in that story. And I would say more than ever before, that storytelling role, that engagement role, is really something that is at the heart of what we've been doing. And yet at the same time, I've also noticed that if in the past we took 2 or 3 years sometimes to kind of make an event happen or make an idea into a reality, the speed at which we've had to engage people, the team has had to implement ideas, I think is significantly different these days, and so we've had to reshape the way we've worked, and I think at the same time I would say there are a few things that have stayed the same. So one of the things I think we were beginning to learn before this crisis was, at the end of the day, working with prospective families is actually about helping a family learn. It's providing a learning opportunity for families, and it's not just about giving information. So as we've taken that into this digital space, I think the question that is driving a lot of our thinking right now is, how do we help families learn whether this is the right school for them and their children? And I think it's, once you begin with that assumption that it's about learning and not information, maybe it changes the way that you imagine what that digital page is going to look like. Another principle that we've thought about quite a lot is to what extent admissions within schools is actually an expression of institutional kindness. And is this an opportunity for us to, rather than, again, throw people information, maybe it's an opportunity to sit back and listen and to make families feel that they're understood, that their questions matter. And so we've begun to think about ways in which this virtual admissions environment actually is not just about learning, but it's also about kindness. It's about giving families the space to express what it is that's really important for them. And then the third principle that I think we've really kind of come to be reminded of is that at the end of the day, even though, you know, in years gone by, we used to say that the future of learning, it's all going to be online, it's all going to be kind of learning in a digital landscape. I think one of the things we've realized right now is that so much of who we are as learning institutions is connected to a place. And that, you know, maybe one of the things we're feeling right now is that sense of loss, that absence of something, which is the physical space. So whilst we've created this virtual learning experiences for families, kind of at the same time we're feeling that there's something that is missing, and you know, I think these are some of the ideas that have underpinned a lot of the work that we've been doing um, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and the team has had to move from a physical space, a physical environment, to something that is, you know, really quite different, and that's required an agility on their part to make that transition. And so, you know, when I look to the future, because it's not just about what we've done over the last 3 weeks, I often reflect on, you know, where is this taking us, and you know, I would just share 2 or 3 ideas. I think as we look in to next year, um, I think there's a sense in which we believe that we're probably going to go into a period of um, maybe oscillating between on-site and online learning. So our platforms are going to need to be ready to pivot back to online learning and distance learning and online admissions when they need to. Um, I think if anything, the last 3 weeks is anything to go by. I think we're going to become a lot better at telling stories of learning, really focusing on learning and how young people are learning and how we are learning as professionals. Um, I actually think that we will maybe emerge with a greater sense of confidence in our ability to create and implement ideas. The way I've seen the team um, come up with an idea and implement it, and within 24 hours that appearing on our school website, I think it's been remarkable the way the team has grown in confidence. um, and maybe the last thing I'd say is that I really feel like one of the things I've learned, maybe this is my biggest lesson, is that as a network of schools, and I know that Finalsite does so much to bring schools together and bring us all together at events and webinars and conversations like this, is that I honestly truly believe that in many ways we are better when we're together, when we're collaborating, and if I wanted one thing to last into the future, it would be that we keep this connection, this sense of learning from one another, copying ideas from one another, maybe learning that to give away some of our best ideas. Because at the end of the day, I actually think that um, innovation is always in community and not in isolation of one another. And I see that as I speak to colleagues in all different parts of the world, that somehow we are better because we're together through this crisis, and we have more courage to do the things that we really need to do. So that's a lot of theory, that's a lot of general principles, but those are some of the principles that really have been guiding us through this period. And maybe that helps kind of frame, maybe there's some specific questions that people have to you know, to dig into what we actually have been doing here in Brussels. But I wanted to share really first those principles that have guided us.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like you brought up so many fantastic points. I think 100% emotional intelligence is super important right now, really taking into account what your community is feeling and adjusting what you're saying and what content you're putting out based on that. And then second, like you said, we're so much better together. I think even here at Final Site, we've been so inspired by the way that schools are really coming together, sharing ideas, and I think we're better because of it. So 100% on that point. And then even just thinking about the future and how everyone has adapted so quickly at just a drop of a hat, creating really amazing experiences for everyone. And I think it really will drive how we go into the future. So fantastic. So well said. Thank you for sharing those ideas. And I think now, we have a few minutes. Like you said, I would love to open the floor for questions. I know prior to us going live, we had one question come in on our stories, just asking you, how are you keeping the ISB staff, students, and general community motivated? That was one question that came in that I just wanted to shoot your way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. I mean, I think one of the things that I'm learning through this is that it's even though we're separated, we miss each other as a team. We're a very close team, and we work well together when we're all in the same neighboring offices. And so we've had to try and find ways of, in a sense, staying connected and staying, concerned about one another. And I think one of the things I've learned is even the way we're meeting regularly and often, short bursts of meetings have really been, very, very powerful for us. I think one of the things that I've also learned is the importance of staying on message and staying on task, that this is not business as usual. And so one of the things we've had to do is really focus down on what are the things that really are our priorities for the week. Let's focus on those. There are a lot of things that we're going to have to leave by the wayside for the moment. And I think that keeps people focused and motivated. We're a team that enjoys each other's company, and we celebrate, and we spend a lot of time with one another, building the team and the sense of team, and I think kind of finding ways to keep doing that, even though we're locked up in our own houses, has been one of the things that I think has helped. But the other thing I would say is that the team has also become quite autonomous and in many ways gone off and created things that they've really, I think everyone in the team should be very proud of. The ideas that have been implemented, acted upon, and turned into reality, often super fast, and that's something that I think we'll look back on and say we did it. We came through this as a team, and we made things happen, even if we were a little daunted at times.
No, absolutely. And I think it's a great point to make, because while, as a school community, you are concerned about your faculty and your students, it's always important to just stay connected with each other and really keep that motivation up. So that's really great. I guess I'll let it go for another minute, see if we have any other questions come in. But you've really provided some great insight. So I appreciate the time you've taken today to just share with us. So I'm not seeing anything else come in.
Well, it's really.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I think one of the things that I think one of the things that I would say, just to use up that last minute, is I think many of us who are working in communications in schools really feel like this is a time when all of the work, the ideas, the contributions that Final Site has made over the years to improve our thinking and the communications tools that we run, this was a time when we really needed that, and we feel very grateful to Final Site and all of the team for the way in which, in a sense, it's almost prepared us for this moment, because without this platform, we may not have been able to respond in the way that we could. So, one of the things I'd also say is we do keep encouraging people. If people like something that we're doing, please copy it, please take it. We've probably taken some of those ideas from someone else. So, this is a time when we want to give back to that community some of the things that we feel we've taken in our own journey, and this is the time to do it.